Hello everyone, welcome to the class of AI, and today we are going to discuss one of the very important concept of Python, and that's called functions, right? So functions are the building blocks, like function are the block of code which only runs when you call it, right? And you can pass data through it, which is known as parameter, into a function, and function can return you a data or as a result, right? So in a nutshell or in a layman language, what I want to tell you is that function is, you can see, a piece of code in which you write line of codes or something, and you give some input. It's do the output, calculate the output, and give it to you. For example, here I'm trying to greet the user. So for example, think that there is some gate. So every time when that automatic gate opens, uh, you greet something. It means you play a voice message, some kind of thing, right? So for example, in order to write that function, what you have to do, you have to first define using a keyword called def, then name of the function, and within the parenthesis you can put arguments. But in our case, in this first example, we don't have any arguments, and then you have to put the colon and make sure you intended correctly, and then write whatever you want to do, right? So I write this function, and when I just ran it, so it's now function is stored somewhere in the memory. Whenever I call this function greet user and I'm passing no argument, so that means it's calling this and printing. It's going to print hello, welcome to the class of AI. Right now I'm calling this function two times, so that means it's going to run this particular function two times. So that means we are going to have an output two number of times. Now extend it further. Information can means parameter can be passed into a function, and information can be passed to a function as a parameter. Parameter are specified after the function name inside the parenthesis, what we have here. As a parameter, as many parameter you want, just separate it with commas. So we'll see it later what it is. Here again we are defining using a def word a function. Here the name of the function is class of AI, and what argument we is passing over here is f name, right? And what body I wrote inside this is print welcome message, and then whatever the input users give, we are going to call that name, and we are printing the message welcome to the class of AI, or welcome to the class, means welcome this guy to the class of AI, right? So in this function, when I'm calling passing Adam, so what is happening, I'm calling the name of the function passing Adam. Adam will go over here and then print welcome Adam to the class of AI. I'm calling by third time Ali and then Krishna. So let's see, it's going to print all these three names with a message, right? Now default value means parameter value. Sometimes we means whenever we define a function, sometimes user don't pass any parameter to a function. For example, in this third line, we are calling the function but not passing any parameter. So in that case, what is going to happen, that by default the country which we are passing over here will take a value of England. So for example, when we have defined this function, and when we are calling, first we are calling with India, so the country will replaced by India instead of England, because we are overriding a function, right? Next, the country will be Pakistan, and at the third time when we are calling, we are not giving, so by default it will come to England and then Australia. So let's run this and see. So India loves playing cricket, Pakistan loves playing cricket, England loves playing cricket. See, here we have not passed anything, so by default it took England from it, right? Now coming, passing a list as a parameter. So for example, you have a list, and in our case we have a list of car, BMW, Audi and Toyota. So what I did, I have created a function called my car, and inside my car I am calling a list, means as a parameter I'm calling. So I'm going to pass this argument as cars, which is a list. So what is happening in this function, I'm using a for loop to read how many cars, means I'm trying to print the name of those cars, right? So in this list you can see I have 3 cars. So if I want to print, I have to print car 1, car 2, car 3. But if I write a function once, run it, all the 3 cars will be printed. For example, if I increase it to other car, maybe let's say Mars, right? And other I have increased maybe Nissan, right? So now see, if I call it, all 5 will be printed, because it's taking a list as an argument, as a parameter, and this parameter is a list and which is iterating over the loop using for and printing each car every time. Now returning a value. Returning a value is again a very powerful function, a very powerful quality of a function. Sometimes you do numerical computation, right? Example, for calculating the area of rectangle, calculating the area of square. So to make it simple, what I did, I just calculated the square of the value of x. So what I did, you wrote a function, and then the function of my name is my power, and I'm passing x into it. So whatever the value of x will come, x square will be returned to this function, right? So here I'm calling print my power 3. So that means 3 will go over here, x square 9, 9 will be printed. Here 25 will be printed, and here 81 will be printed. Let's see. Yes, that's correct. Now, keyword argument. Keyword argument is very important sometimes. So you can also send arguments with the key value syntax. This way the order to the argument doesn't matter. So means if you change the order, it doesn't matter because you are already telling inside your function that you are going to use this. So for example, you are defining my favorite car and I'm asking 3 cars to be passed into it, right? And what I'm printing inside it, that my favorite car is always car 2. So for example, here car 1 is Audi, car 2 is BMW, and car 3 is Toyota, right? And if I call it, you see it will take BMW because car 2 which I am passing is passing over here, right? And it's coming over here and then it's printing. Fine. For example, if I say car 3 and this is car 2, and if I print it now, then what will happen? Toyota will be printed because order doesn't matter. I have changed the order. Now car 2 is Toyota. So Toyota will be passed over here and the answer will be Toyota. Another important point for the functions, it's called arbitrary arguments, right? If you don't know how many arguments that will be passed into a function, just add an asterisk before it, right? So in case over here, you see I have added an asterisk before my parameter and my parameter is car. So print my favorite car is car 3, I'm saying. So I don't know how many cars I'm going to pass over here. It's maybe 3 or 4. So for example, if I cut it, if I change it to 1 maybe, and I cut it, right? And if I run it, see, I passed 3 cars. So it taking first, that is car 1, which is BMW, but I'm not sure how many things I'm going to pass. So if I copy it back, now it's 4. Again, it's going to take BMW, right? If I change it to 3, then it will be Mars. So this is what these arbitrary arguments, key arguments, this is what we have discussed all over this in the function tutorial, and I hope you like it. Comment it if you have any suggestion, and please do subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Class of AI.